viewers, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. This is MB Saiful Islam, an assistant teacher of Ordinary High School of Novo District of Bangladesh, and you are most welcome in my English Academy and Raisa English Welcome. Maintenance. Hope that you are very fine by the praise of Allah. I am Susa Alhamdulillah. Today's class I have been present in front of you with an class named transitive verb and intransitive verb. Transitive verb and intransitive verb with the reference of my previous classes. Hope that you are connected with me to watch my different kinds of videos and hope that you watched my previous classes smartly. And with the reference of my previous classes, my journals, this class have been present in front of with our new argument class named transitive verb and intransitive verb. In my previous classes, you were told that, my dear learners, what's a verb? You were told that, my dear learners, a verb is a word which denotes being, having, or doing something referred by this does. We are also told that, my dear learners, we can classify a verb from various kinds of concept. According to first concept, we can classify a verb into two ways, such as finite verb and non-finite verb. According to the second concept, we can classify a verb into two ways, such as auxiliary verb and principal verb. According to a third concept, we can classify a verb into two ways, such as transitive verb and intransitive verb. And according to fourth concept, we can classify a verb into two ways, state verb and event verb. You are told that, my dear learners, what's an auxiliary verb. Well, also told that, my dear learners, an auxiliary verb is a verb which co-operates or helps a principal verb to form a mood, a tense, or a voice in a sentence. And we can classify an auxiliary verb into two ways, such as primary auxiliary verb and modal auxiliary verb. You are also told that, my dear learners, what's a primary auxiliary verb? You are told that, my dear learners, a primary auxiliary verb is an auxiliary verb which works as a principal verb and auxiliary verb at a time in a sentence. And you are also told that, my dear learners, there are 11 categories of auxiliary verb called primary auxiliary verb, and this primary auxiliary verb is classified into two ways, such as be verb. Five categories of auxiliary verb named am, is, or was, or are called to be verb. Number two, you are told do verb. Three categories of verb, auxiliary verb, such as named do, just, and did are called do verb, and have verb. Number three, have verb. You are also told that, my dear learners, three categories of auxiliary verb, the named have, had, are called to have verb. Of course, you know that, my dear learners. You are also told that, my dear learners, about modal auxiliary. But told that, my dear learners, a modal auxiliary verb is a verb which can express the meaning of a sentence wholly or entirely without the help of a principal verb. And you are also told that, my previous classes, my dear learners, there are 13 categories of modal auxiliaries, such as can, could, may, might, shall, should, will, would, must, need, cheer, ought to, used to. These 13 categories of auxiliary verb are called modal auxiliary verb. You also told that, my dear learners, about primary auxiliary verb versus modal auxiliary. You also told that, my dear learners, in my previous class, auxiliary verb versus principal verb. About principal verb, you are told that, my dear learners, principal verb is a verb which can express the meaning of the sentence freely without the help of any auxiliary verb. And with the reference of my previous classes, this class I have been present new version class named transitive verb and intransitive verb. So, my dear learners, knowledge check, look at the board and try to understand. So, what if the things I want to make you understand about transitive verb and intransitive verb, and which is a very important part among various kinds of verb in English grammar. Thank you very much. Be connected and try to understand. So, what were the things I want to make you understand? Dear learners, take a look at the board and try to understand. Dear learners, I'm trying to show you about transitive verb and intransitive verb. Transitive verb and intransitive verb. So, my dear learners, take a look at the board and try to understand. So, in my previous class, my dear learners, I discussed about principal verb, about principal verb, principal verb. You have to mind that, my dear learners, a principal verb is classified into two ways. Principal verb is classified into two ways. Number one, transitive verb, and number two, intransitive verb. Okay, learners, hope that you have understood clearly. But learners, I at first I'm trying to about the definition of transitive verb. Transitive verb. So, my dear learners, take a look at the board and try to understand transitive verb. About the definition of a transitive verb, we can say that, my dear learners, transitive verb is a verb which takes at least an object to express the meaning of a sentence completely. Okay, my dear learners, if we want to give the definition of a transitive verb, we can say that, my dear learners, transitive verb is a verb which takes at least an object to express the meaning of a sentence completely. Hope that you have understood clearly. My dear learners, now I'm trying to show you about definition of an intransitive verb. Intransitive verb. Intransitive verb. If we want to give the definition of an intransitive verb, we can say that, my dear learners, an intransitive verb is a verb which has no any object to express the meaning of a sentence. Okay, my dear learners, if you want to give the definition of an intransitive verb, we can say that, my dear learners, an intransitive verb is a verb which has no any object to express the meaning of a sentence. Now, my question to you, my dear learners, what's the difference between these two categories of verb named transitive verb and intransitive verb? According to my dear learners, the main difference between these two categories of verb named transitive verb and intransitive verb is object. Object. In a transitive verb, of course, object. Transitive verb must have object, but intransitive verb has no any object. So, my dear learners, I'm trying to clarify about the difference between transitive verb and intransitive with some example, my dear learners. But my question to you, my dear learners, what the position of an object? What the position of an object? You'll have to mind that, my dear learners. At first, so normally a sentence possessed first subject, number two verb, and next object. Then you have to mind that, my dear learners, the position of a verb object, of course, an object, of course, after verb. After verb, you have to mind that, my dear learners, if we ask the verb with who, what, oblique, home. If we ask the verb with your watch or home and get the answer, then you have to mind that my dear learners, such categories of verb of course transitive verb. To clarify about this problem, I have written some example in the board. So my dear learners, take a look at the board and try to understand. First example, I have written, I learn English. Learn English. In this sentence, learn is transitive verb because before you ask this verb learn, what do you learn? What do you learn? Then the answer will be that my dear learners, English. So in this sense, you can say that my dear learners, learn is a transitive verb. Learn is a transitive verb. Of course, of the you have written. Next example, my dear learners, I have written mother cooked rice. Mother cooked rice. If we ask the verb cooked with the what, such as what did mother cook? What did mother cook? The answer is that of course rice. In this sense, we can say that my dear learners, cooked here in this sentence used verb cooked, of course a transitive verb. Of course a transitive verb. Next example, my dear learners, I have written Raisa made. Raisa made. If we ask this verb made with the what did Raisa make? What did Raisa make? The answer will be that my dear learners chi. So chi is an object. So in this sense, you can call that my dear learners made is a transitive verb. Transitive verb. Next example, my dear learners, we help the poor. We help the poor. In this sentence, help is a transitive verb because if we ask the verb with home, the answer is that the poor. Whom do you help? Whom do you help? The answer will be that the poor. So my dear learners, in this sense, you can say that my dear learners, help is a transitive verb. Next example, my dear learners, I have written, we love the country. In this sentence, love is a transitive verb. If we make a question with what do you love? What do you love? The answer is that the country. So, love is a transitive verb. Then, next, again, think about next example, my dear learners, gives. In this sentence, gives is a transitive verb because if we make a question with what and whom, the answer is that us, our, us, and milk. Suppose the question is, whom does the cow give milk? Whom does the cow give milk? Of course, answer us. Us. And if we ask the verb give with what does the cow give us? What does the cow give us? The answer, of course, milk. So, my dear learners, in this sense that this is a transitive verb. And next example, my dear learners, shows in this sentence show each transitive verb because if we make a questions with what or then the answer is me and a picture. Suppose question number one, what whom did Raisa show a picture? Answer is that me. And next question, what does Raisa show us? Show me. The answer is a picture. So, my dear learners, in this sense, my dear learners, I want to say that my dear learners, show is a transitive verb. Show is a transitive verb. And furthermore, you have to mind that, my dear learners, sometimes there is two or double object in a sentence, such as indirect object and direct object. You have to mind that, the learners, all categories of personal object is called indirect object and all categories of non-personal object is direct object. And according to the structure of a sentence, all time we'll have to use indirect, that means personal object, and then non-personal or direct object. Of course, so when we write down in this way, if any sentence possessed double object, if we suppose Raisa, sorry, shows a picture to me. Okay, my dear learners, if we use direct object at first, you'll have to mind that, my dear learners, before indirect object, you'll have to use to. Use to. You have another clearly. My dear learners, now I'm trying to clarify about intransitive verb. To clarify about the various kinds of problem of intransitive verb, I have written some example in the board. So, my dear learners, take a look at the board and try to understand. So, now think about first example. Birds fly in the sky. In the sky. In this sentence, verb, intransitive verb, intransitive verb, intransitive verb, of course, fly. Because if you ask the verb with what oblique there is no any answer. Will be no any answer. Suppose if you ask the bird fly, what do birds fly? No answer. Home does bird fly? Home do birds fly? No answer. But if we ask the verb where, the answer is that in the sky. Why do birds fly? Why do birds fly? The answer is that in the sky. In the sky. But if we ask any questions with where, there is no any object. There is no any object, and object must be getting with the WH question of what or whom. What or in this sense. We say that, my dear learners, in this sentence, use the verb fly is an intransitive verb. Think about next example, my dear learners. In this sentence, Raisa reads attentively. Raisa reads attentively. If you ask the verb reads with what or whom, there will be no any answer. But if you ask the verb with how does Raisa read? How does Raisa read? Then the answer is attentively. So, my dear learners, this category is verb not a transitive verb. Of course, an intransitive verb. Intransitive verb. Similarly, third example, Rohim go to school. How does Rohim go? How does Rohim go? Sorry, goes. How does Rohim go? So, in this sense, we say that, my dear learners, go is an intransitive verb. Intransitive verb. Next example. Rakib runs in the field. Sorry, runs in the field. We can't get any answer. Get an answer with what or whom. But if we ask run with oil, get the answer. Why does Rakib run? The answer is in the field. So in the field is not an object. These are not an object. In this sense, we can say that run is a transitive verb in this sentence. In this sentence, think about next example. In this sentence. My dear learners, Romy smiled loudly. Romy smiled loudly. I can say that, my dear learners, smiled is an intransitive verb because we can get the answer if we ask the verb smile with what or whom. But if we ask the verb smile with how, get the answers loudly. Such as how did Romy smile? How did Romy smile? Answer is that loudly. That's you have understood clearly. My dear learners, last example. We fly in the field. We fly in the field. In this sentence, fly is an intransitive verb because we can't get any answers with the questions what or whom. But if we ask the verb fly with where, the answer is in the field. Suppose where do you play? Why do you play? Answer is in the field, but this sentence in the field is not an object. In this sense, I can say that, my dear learners, play in this sentence used verb fly is an intransitive verb. Hope that you have understood clearly. My dear learners, I don't want to lend to this class, but I want to share some information with you, my dear learners. Of course, you know that, my dear learners, I'm a new teacher or new tutor in YouTube channels, and I'm trying to use English conversation at the time of my making various kinds of video classes. So, my dear learners, if you notice any faults or mistakes in the midst of my video classes, please excuse me and reach all my channels so that I can help you, I can serve you, I can cover you in this way through my video classes. So, my dear learners, no more today. Come to again with a new arrangement and class. Thank you very much. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.